Welcome back to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold. I'm joined by five-time best-selling author Sheri Fink. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I was excited to have you on the show because, and we're going to talk about your story in just a moment, but your story has created so many opportunities for young children. You tell stories, real-life stories, and how they can help young children grow in life. Yeah, so welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Now, you come from corporate America. Tell me about how you came from corporate America into being a five-time best-selling author on children's books.
Well, it was an exciting journey. I was in the corporate world for over 12 years, and I was really focused on online marketing and helping build other people's businesses. And then I worked my way up and got to the top of the ladder, and then, like many people, realized it was up against the wrong wall. And I didn't really know what to do about that, and I was going through this soul-searching time. And I was driving to work one day, and I had this seed of an idea that came to me about a little rose that grows up in a weed bed and thinks that she's the weed. And then the story wrote through me completely in the car at stoplights, like on the back of an envelope with a little mini golf pencil, because that's all I had in my console, and all the way from the very first word to the very last line. And I was like, wow, that was amazing, but I have no idea what that was. So fast forward a year, I made an exit strategy. So the day I wrote that story, I said, a year from today, I will either be working for somebody else, running my own business, or just doing something that I don't even know yet. And which was a big leap for me because I had worked so hard. I had a master's degree, and I had climbed my way up, and it was difficult to let go of that part of my identity, but I knew it was time. So a couple years later, after I had left the corporate world and I had gone to a conference, I had a seemingly random conversation and about the story that I had completely forgotten about. And then the woman I was talking with said, I just got goosebumps. You have to do something with that because my grandchildren need that message.
Wow.
And that's when the light bulb went on, and I thought, well, maybe it's a children's book. So I got home from that conference and I was on fire. I thought, what would it take to publish a children's book? Because I didn't know anybody who did anything like that before, and I had never done it. So I started asking everyone that I knew, who do you know who's done something like this? Who do you know who's a best-selling author? Who do you know who might talk to me for a moment about this project? And then within 6 months, using the advice that I learned from other people and some learnings along the way, I published the first book called The Little Rose. And 2 weeks later, it became a #1 bestseller on Amazon.
Just 2 weeks later?
2 weeks.
From publishing it.
2
So there's a
weeks.
couple lessons here I do want to make sure we don't miss.
Yes.
One is, well, in Southern California, if you're driving to work, it could take a long time and a lot of red lights. So I understand why you had time to write a book. But something came to you, some inspiration came to you, and you created an exit strategy, but you didn't know what that was. That takes courage.
Yes, and I saved up as much of my salary as I could during that time, and I was constantly looking for what might be the next thing. I was open to it more than I'd ever been before.
Open to new possibilities, which is another lesson.
Yes.
Open yourself up to any possibility that might grow your future.
Yes, it sounded crazy. Like, I'm going to go write a children's book. That sounds nuts, right, to most people?
Yeah.
But the way that I've experienced life is that when you go through that scary, juicy, delicious idea, that's the one that has the magic in it.
Yeah,
That's where you're gonna have success.
and then randomly putting the energy out in the universe on this book, telling the story because you're passionate about it. Someone picked up and inspired you to move on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me about the book, this first book that you had.
The Little Rose is about believing in yourself no matter what. It helps kids realize that they're a beautiful rose no matter if anyone else sees it or not, and encourages them to be authentic. And I think that that's what's resonated with people and why it stayed #1 for over 60 weeks on Amazon is because we all need that message, no matter our age.
Yeah.
We just need to be reminded, like, oh, you know what? You're perfect just the way you are.
And we're unique just the way we are.
Yes.
We're unbelievably unique individuals no matter what.
Exactly. And to embrace that and to celebrate it rather than try to conform and be like everyone else. You know, that's something that I think is so important to instill in kids at an early age.
Yeah, and they're so impressionable, and they're like sponges.
Yes.
So if they're hearing negative stuff, and if they're hearing doubtful thoughts and ideas, they're going to become that. But when they're hearing unlimited possibilities with children, they're going to become that too.
Yes, it's magical to look in their eyes and see them. You just see the light bulb go on. And it's like, oh, I'm really special. I see it now. And it's just such a gift to witness.
Yeah. Tell us about, so the book turned into a second book, and I know we're going to, after the break, touch upon the second book, the inspiration behind the second book.
Well, I didn't realize I was going to do a second book.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't intend to. I thought, okay, I have a #1 best-selling book. I'm an author, check the box, move on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all the promotion for the first book, and then the second idea kept coming to me. And it just wouldn't leave me alone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like those little intuitive nudges that you get, and you take inspired action, and then magic happens again.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the Little Gnome, and his story is about adapting to change, looking for the good in change, even when you don't understand what's happening. And growing up on the East Coast and now living in Los Angeles, I thought about the seasons and what was it that I liked the most about each season, and what was it that maybe I didn't enjoy as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what if a little gnome went through that for the first time ever without any roadmap to know what was going on?
And is this one, right?
Yes, that's the Little Gnome.
Yeah. And all the season and change. Well, coming to Southern California will give you a lot of change, right? Depends if you're from New York City and or where. But, we're going to jump to a quick break. When we come back and we talk about the rest of your books.
Sounds
And
great.
get some nuggets of wisdom for all of us out there, including our children. So we're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back.